Welcome everybody to this week's edition of Valpo Football Preview, brought to you by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority, along with head coach Dave Cecchini. This is Todd Ickow. We welcome you in as the Crusaders get ready for their homecoming game against Missouri Baptist. Still, you have one win, but you're still looking for your first home win.
Right, absolutely.
And things have not gone well thus far at home, and it was a disappointing loss this past Saturday.
Right. There's no question things started out great for us. You know, it was a perfect scenario. We held them deep in their own territory, had great kickoff coverage, and forced them to punt, got the ball at midfield, drove right down the field, and scored to go up 7-0. And then, unfortunately, we had a little adversity come our way. Our punter drops a snap, and it rolls back down to our 14-yard line, and Maris is able to capitalize and score and then kick off. We've got a great return going, and unfortunately at midfield we get hit and we fumble the football, and they get the ball again. And we faced adversity like that before this season, and we've been able to overcome it. And for whatever reason, that wasn't the case in this game. I was a little disappointed that we didn't kind of answer the challenge like we did against William Jewell a couple weeks ago.
Let's talk a little bit about, first off, you got on the board first, as you mentioned, and you did it by running Tanner Karamata on kind of an inside jet sweep type play. Actually got 4 carries this past week. Maybe a sign that you'll find more ways to get him the football, or was that just some plays that were working this past week?
I mean, it was a good time to unveil that package, and like I said, we're slowly expanding the things that we do from a scheme standpoint on offense, and Tanner's a talented football player, and he deserves to have the ball in his hands, and we weren't going to be able to get him a lot of touches in the pass game, kind of a combination of what Marist was doing coverage-wise, but also the weather conditions with the wind and the rain, and it was probably Ben's worst day from an accuracy standpoint on the season, throwing the football. So it made sense to get the ball, get Tanner some touches that way, and we had the nice 14 or 15-yard touchdown off of it, and he had another big run in the third quarter as well. So that's stuff that we like to do, and we'll continue to expand those packages. You
guys have played better on the road this year. The 2 home games have probably 2 most disappointing games thus far. Is there anything to that in your mind?
Well, we hope not. We hope it's just a case of just guys facing better teams and the ball bouncing the wrong way or whatever. But we're taking it very seriously. We're really challenging our players to up their level of focus and preparation. The fact that things started out so well in the Marist game, if you had asked me midway through the first quarter, I would have said, boy, we're playing our best game. So it's certainly not the result of a slow start. When we played St. Joe's at home, we went right down the field and scored the opening drive. So it's a little bit more having to do with our staying power and staying focused for 4 quarters, and we're challenging our players to take a step up in that regard this week.
The matchup this week against Missouri Baptist. They haven't won a game, but obviously you guys are in no position to overlook anybody. How do you address the team as you look forward to this game?
Well, what you just said is true. We have not earned the right to underestimate anybody right now. I mean, we still have to take the role that we're the underdog going into this game. And I also tell them that this is a little bit of an opposite team than the team we just played in Marist. Marist was dominated by seniors, had a lot of veteran leadership, veteran coaching staff, a system that had been in place for 6-7 years, and now we're going to play Missouri Baptist, a team that is their first year of playing an organized schedule. They're mostly almost about 90% freshmen and sophomores playing. They've got a couple of transfers that they have been able to bring in, but it's a new system, so they're kind of on the other ends of that spectrum. So they're making a lot of mistakes, just lack of execution, and just missing that type of experience and senior leadership that the team that we played this past week, that was one of their greatest strengths. So it's going to be a challenge still, though.
You talked about challenging the team. Do you really challenge the defense? This was not a good week for the defense. It's a Marist team that had struggled. Do you specifically talk to the defense about, hey, this is a team where this shouldn't happen, and this is your opportunity to take control of this football game?
Right, but a lot of that comes down to turnovers, and that's something that the game that we won, we were able to force 3 turnovers against William Jewell. We played a Marist team that really our goal was not to give them the ball, so they had short fields, which unfortunately we failed miserably at. You look at every single one of their scoring drives, I think their longest drive was 55 yards on the day.
Exactly.
And when we pinned them down deep, which wasn't often, but the start of the game was one of those, they our defense did a good job of not allowing them to drive the length of the field. So the biggest disappointment was the lack of turnovers. Marist had turned the ball over, I think, 10 times going into our game. They coughed it up once or twice, and unfortunately we weren't able to jump on the ball. We did have an interception hit Melvin Graham right between the numbers, and he didn't convert that. So those are the things that we need to do against these guys. We've got to force turnovers, get some momentum, and really get this team their confidence, understanding that we can have things go right. We can play a great first half and get a lead going into halftime.
And build on that. Good luck,
That's right.
Coach.
Thank you very much.
For head coach Dave Cecchini, this is Todd Ickow. Thanks for joining us this week on Valpo Football Preview, brought to you by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority.